Thank you, Hugh. Very good afternoon, everybody. The sight of Christian Eriksen collapsing on the pitch in Copenhagen at the Euros after suffering a cardiac arrest is one that remains haunting. 18 months on, the miracle man completes his incredible recovery by leading Denmark out at a World Cup for a tournament that has been dogged by controversy and protest. This is the ultimate feel-good story. Eriksen's presence and impressive club form at Manchester United has seen many pundits and experts tipping Denmark as genuine World Cup contenders. As for Tunisia, we've already seen one shock today as Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. Can the Ali Al-Qadri side stage a repeat? We are off and underway at the Education City Stadium in Doha. Denmark in their toned down all red strip straight away on the attack, shooting towards the goal away to our right. They've won a corner inside the opening 15 seconds. Tunisia all in white, and Christian Eriksen will trot across Dean Ashton to take the first set-piece delivery of the afternoon.
And of course, with that delivery, of which is usually of very, very high quality, Denmark rely heavily on set plays because of that lack of a centre-forward, so expect them to be dangerous.
Yeah, Simon Kjær, Joachim Andersen, both have come forward from the back. Eriksen hoists the ball towards the penalty spot, headed away, and it will be kept alive by Joachim Mæhle, the marauding wing-back for Denmark. I'll run you through the two lineups in full in a moment, but this is a really fast start from Denmark, and as a challenge comes in on Christian Eriksen, it was a tub-thumping tackle, and it was Yacine Maria whipping up the thousands of Tunisia fans inside the ground. He's still doing it. He enjoyed that one.
It's unusual though, isn't it? So early on in a game to make a challenge. He really does just lash the ball out of play, sliding in and whacking it away from Christian Eriksen, and then pumping his chest to those supporters.
And there was always going to be a sea of red inside this ground because of course both teams play in red when they are the home side, but I can tell you there are many thousand more Tunisia supporters than their Danish counterparts. The Danes lining up in the formation that we expected. Kasper Schmeichel, Premier League winner with Leicester City of course in goal, Andersen Kjær and the former Chelsea defender Andreas Christensen in front of him, Rasmus Christensen of Leeds, and Joachim Mæhle the wing-backs, with Højbjerg and Delaney in midfield, Skov Olsen and Eriksen supporting Dolberg up front as a shot thunders in from the edge of the Danish penalty. It was a decent block in the end from Rasmus Christensen. And Tunisia, well, we were debating it, Dean Ashton, it is a back three. Darman the goalkeeper, Talbi Maria and Dylan Brom ahead of him, Draga and Ali Abdi the wing-backs, Leyduni and Skiri in midfield, with a trio up top of Ben Slimani, Masakni and Jabali. No Wabi Kazri, but it is a back three for Tunisia, and that took you by surprise.
Only because I've seen a lot of where they've played the 4-1 for Jalal Qadri's side, and maybe matching them up as well, I think just gives them a bit of security. I mean, that midfield is where they're particularly strong as well. Skahiri and Laduni both very good in front of that back three, and they'll go and match up against Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Delaney.
I know much was made of the lack of atmosphere in the game involving the Netherlands and Senegal yesterday. Not a bit of that here this afternoon. It is a real carnival feel, and that shot from Josef Masakni from the edge of the area, well blocked in the end by Christensen. The first meaningful attempt as Denmark try and play the ball long, looking for Skov Olsen. Once again the interception from Dylan Brom this time. The Tunisian centre-back is roared by the vocal majority inside the stadiums. It's punted forward looking for Christian Eriksen. That was an important header away by Brom. They've been quite direct, Dean Ashton, Denmark, in these early exchanges on TalkSport.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, we've seen that from Crystal Palace's Joachim Andersen. He's got brilliant distribution from distance and look to play that ball over the top or switch the play.
Here come Tunisia with Ben Slimani out to the right hand side where Mohamed Draga tries to get across into the area. Well blocked by Mæhle, but then Christensen, in trying to keep it in play, gave it away inside his own penalty area and had to get the sliding challenge in there. just as Jabali was looking to shoot on goal. Nervous moment for Andreas Christensen, who hasn't played much football for Barcelona this season due to a hip problem, just 8 appearances, and he looks a bit ring rusty there. Tunisia still on the attack. You're listening to Talk Sport on this bumper day from the Qatar World Cup. Already over on Talk Sport 2 you heard the shock for many a tournament. Argentina losing for the first time in 39 matches against Saudi Arabia, of all opponents. We've still got Poland against Mexico and France, Australia to come on this thrilling Tuesday. It feels like the World Cup is really underway now.
I've got to say, the tempo that Tunisia have started with in terms of the aggression of the press is just, I mean, obviously they're going to be buoyed on by this support, but still incredible.
And here they come down their left-hand side. It's the captain Masakni trying to get in behind the Danish back line, and it needed Simon Kjær, the blonde-haired captain, wearing the bright yellow armband, to come and poke the ball clear. Not out of trouble yet, Denmark. You can sense that Tunisia have really embraced this atmosphere from their supporters, and certainly that is adding extra motivation. They've gone all the way back to their goalkeeper, Aymen Darman. He launches it long upfield, looking for Jabali, headed away by Simon Kjær, and then picked up in the centre of the Danish half by Tottenham's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I think Denmark, as you've already alluded to, will probably just want to slow the game down and take some of the sting out of it early on.
Yeah, they will, and you know, look, they've got plenty of experience actually in this Danish side. They're an excellent passing team. Just in the last year alone, they've had 85% pass accuracy, and they also like to use Kasper Schmeichel as well in that build-up. They will be really slow actually in their build-up. They're happy to keep lots and lots of simple possession, and then obviously when they can get Eriksson and Skov Olsen into the game with Højbjerg getting forward as well, that's where they'll be dangerous.
There are 20 places below the two teams in the official FIFA World Rankings. Denmark in 10th on that list, Tunisia down in 30, but as we heard earlier in the Argentina match, that doesn't always lead to the result you would expect. We've played 7 minutes here. It's Denmark 0, Tunisia 0, live on Talk Sport from Doha. And certainly Tunisia is showing all the early signs that Denmark will be in a battle this afternoon. Here is Simon Kjær, only 8 appearances behind Kasper Schmeichel, as Denmark's record appearance maker. He was one of the heroes of that horrible night in Copenhagen, helping save the life of his teammate Christian Eriksen. Tunisia win a free kick just inside their own half, taken short by number 14 Issa Leyduni. Plays for Ferencváros over in Hungary. Made more appearances in qualifying than any other Tunisian player. Now the goalkeeper Darman, all in yellow, plays the ball up towards the halfway line. Temperatures, as you would expect, on the warm side, despite the big air conditioning blowers positioned all around the Education City Stadium. As Denmark hoist the ball out the right hand side, but Rasmus Christensen of Leeds can't jump high enough to keep it in play, and Tunisia have a throw right in front of their coach Jalel Kadri. He's taken charge of 20 clubs, Kadri, over the course of his managerial career. Packed him plenty of experience,
a bit like Dean Saunders.
Well, he was giving a tactical masterclass, wasn't he, on breakfast this morning? And he'll be back on breakfast, I think, alongside Gabi Agbonlahor tomorrow. The breakfast show coming live from our studios here in Qatar every day of the tournament. And there's already been a fair amount of fights between Gabi and Dean, and we haven't even had England against Wales yet. Tunisia passing the ball around nicely here. Leyduni over the halfway line. Andreas Christensen pressing high to try and win it back for Denmark, and then side foots the ball back into the penalty area. And Kasper Schmeichel, 35 years of age now, booed by his own fans at Nice earlier this season. Slowly walks the ball outside the area, plays it long right-footed out to this near touchline as we look. But again, over the head of Rasmus Christensen, and it will be out for a Tunisia throw, 0-0.
They've not settled, have they, Denmark? Not as yet. Struggling to find a way. They would normally be able to get Delaney and Højbjerg onto the ball, and they've just not been able to. They've been so good so far, actually, man-for-man marking in that middle part of the pitch. But Denmark haven't been able to string 2 or 3 passes together, and that's credit to Tunisia.
It's interesting, actually. Hugh alluded to it before the game, the human rights issues that many Denmark fans are very unhappy with. I was speaking to a Danish journalist at our hotel, that guy who was stopped from recording on television, and he was saying that he just worries that maybe the protests back home might weigh heavily on the shoulders of the Danish players, and maybe they won't play with quite the same level of freedom. He said certainly in terms of travelling supporters, I think we can see that inside the ground, that Denmark haven't brought the usual travelling army they would for a World Cup or a European Championship. So it's an interesting situation to keep an eye on. Here comes Ali Abdi for Tunisia down the left-hand side, stopped in his tracks by Christensen, and it's going to be a Tunisian throw level with the Danish penalty area. Here is the mask-wearing Skiri in midfield. It's played out to the edge of the penalty area, and it's deflected as it's fired goalwards. And I'm not completely convinced that Kasper Schmeichel knew that was going wide. Mohamed Draga, up from right wing-back from fully 25 yards out, just tried to steer it towards the top corner. It hit Christensen, could have gone anywhere, goes behind for a corner.
Oh, that's close though. I mean, Kasper Schmeichel had his hands out either side just as if he knew it was going wide. It was very, very close from the deflection from Draga on Christensen.
I'm not convinced that was as comfortable for the Denmark goalkeeper as his body language was making out. Ben Slimani, Copenhagen born, played for Denmark at youth level, now at Brøndby, is about to take the corner from the left-hand side. Referee just making sure there's nothing untoward happening in that penalty area. It's been a theme of the World Cup so far, penalties given and not in the case of Harry Maguire for shirt pulling inside the box. They have been directed, the referees, to clamp down. The corner flicked in towards the near post and headed not too far over the crossbar by the captain Masakni, and he looks up to the skies, Dean Ashton, to suggest that maybe he feels he should have hit the target and tested Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah, possibly. It's a difficult header, of course. He's almost beyond the side of the 6-yard box as he's come from that near post area, come right out towards the kicker, and then try to then flick that on. I think he's probably more annoyed, that he didn't flick it on into an area where one of the other players could have come in and headed it in.
Nonetheless, the better chances so far have come the way of Tunisia. 13 played, it's still goalless.
They have been excellent. Not only the tempo, actually, they've been really good in their play in terms of playing through into their midfield, a lot better than Denmark so far.
And the goalkeeper Darman just slipped there as he cleared the ball away, no harm done. They've managed to smuggle out to the halfway line, Tunisia, where it's played forward by Simon Kjær of AC Milan, and one back on the edge of that 18-yard box down the Tunisian left by Ali Abdi. Christensen stooping inside the centre circle to nod it forward, but Dolberg can't hold it up. Højbjerg, as we've seen many a time both at Tottenham and Southampton, terrier-like in midfield, wins it back for Denmark and earns his side a throw deep inside Tunisian territory. Tunisia taking their place at a World Cup for the 6th time, never have managed to get beyond the group stage. They did win their last World Cup game back in 2018, beat Panama in a dead rubber by 2-1. They've never won back-to-back World Cup matches, so history potentially in their sights this afternoon. The Danish throw comes to nothing, and it's now going to be Ali Abdi, the left wing back, to take the throw for Tunisia, as their fans fill the Doha air with their raucous songs again. A huge number behind the goal that Darman is defending. It's chipped forward by the orange boot wearing Yassine Maria. And now they play on this near side for another Tunisia throw. There's been no rhythm about the Danish play so far. They haven't been able to get hold of the ball and really impose themselves.
To be honest, I know you said earlier on they have just been looking long, and that's exactly what they've done, but Dolberg's not got hold of one yet. He's not really made a challenge worthy of winning possession back anyway. and that's sometimes the problem they have. That's why they normally like to play through, win free kicks. They're dangerous from set plays, Denmark, because they haven't got that striker that you could just hit. He can either take it down necessarily or threaten him behind.
Here they come on the attack though, down the left-hand side. Dolberg tries to hold it up, tries to just pat the ball into the feet of Eriksson. It's cleared, but only out to this right-hand side, and Christensen. And now a rare opportunity for Skov Olsen to get forward, and he gives it back to Christensen, who tried to hurdle the challenge of Montesasa Taubé. They wanted a corner, it goes out for a goal kick, and again Taubé, having done his defensive duty, last touch did look to be off Christensen. That's out a huge roar to the Tunisian supporters. They are fired up for this game.
They are, and in the right way at the moment. You know, and you just wonder, could it ever spill over at any point if Denmark start to get on top? We'll see, but so far they've really used it, this atmosphere.
Will it feel a lonely place out there for the Denmark players?
Yes, of course it will, but again I'm going back to the experienced players that they've got on the pitch, the likes of Eriksson, Simon Kjær, Kasper Schmeichel. You know, these are players with vast experience of
Højbjerg and Delaney in midfield as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. They're not a young team, this Denmark team. They're full of experience, with Skov Olsen really the sort of young, bright star at the moment in the starting 11, at least.
Just a reminder, when we're finished here, more live commentary from the 2022 World Cup, Poland against Mexico. That group looks wide open now following Argentina's defeat earlier today. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff UK time, and then at 7 o'clock, first look at France, Kylian Mbappe and all, as they take on Australia. Ian Danter and Stuart Pearce, your commentary team for that one. Here is Leidouni in the centre of the Tunisian half, out to the left-hand side, and Ali Abdi, who's seen plenty of the ball now. Elias Skiri, the FC Cologne midfielder, forward to Leidouni. Nice piece of skill by him, and then he floats the ball into the penalty area, but it was over the head of Jabali and just ushered back by Simon Kjær to the goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel.
They like that though, didn't they? From Aissa Leidouni.
Well, he put it through the legs of Christensen.
It was great.
Everybody loves a nutmeg.
Oh, of course. No, brilliant. And that's the energy and confidence they're playing with so far, but yet to test Kasper Schmeichel. I know we had that deflected shot, but still not created a huge amount within the penalty area.
Well, I don't think we were expecting a goal first. We mentioned in the build-up to commentary that probably the weakest part of the Danish side is their attack. Don't really have an out-and-out goal scorer leading the line. And Tunisia reached the quarter-finals of the most recent African Cup of Nations, despite the fact they lost more games than they won. So that tells you they're a very defence-minded outfit as well. But it's certainly been Tunisia who've looked the brighter in the opening 18 minutes here on TalkSport. The ball floated out by their goalkeeper Darman to this left-hand side, headed on by Abdi, and then cleared upfield by the retreating Joachim Andersen. Crystal Palace centre-back playing on the right-hand side of that back three, Andersen. You did wonder, Dean Ashton, if Kasper Hjulmand, who is very tactically flexible, might start with a back four. What do you think his rationale is for going with a back three?
I think maybe to get Simon Kjær into the team for a start. I think he relies on him, and he has done over recent years, to be able to marshal that defence.
Christian Eriksen picks up the ball inside the centre circle, back now inside the Danish half, and Joachim Andersen put under pressure by Issam Jabali, who's doing a good job there in the false number 9 position. The ball in the end goes out of play off Jabali and out for a Danish throw. He's another who plays his club football in Denmark for Odense. 4 goals in the Danish league this season. And the boos will tell you that Denmark in possession now inside their own box with Kasper Schmeichel. It's not completely full, this stadium, but as we've already mentioned, the Tunisian fans out in force. And they mobbed the team hotel when they arrived in the West Bay part of the city just before the tournament got underway. They will be encouraged by the first 20 minutes of this game, but it's Denmark coming forward down the left-hand side. Mailer with a chance to stretch his legs, crosses into the penalty area, looking at Dolberg, and it's a diving header behind. Just as they were queuing up in the centre, it's Ali Abdi who took the responsibility and concedes a corner.
Yeah, Joachim Mailer, very good on that left-hand side, left wing-back today, playing for Atalanta in Serie A. And he's got a brilliant left foot. He can cut onto the right as well, and he'll be dangerous down that side.
Yeah, he was one of their shining lights at the European Championships, joint top scorer in qualifying from left wing back as well, with 5 goals, as Christian Eriksen prepares to take Denmark's second corner to around about the 6-yard mark, and it's headed down by the captain Kjær, but well defended by those in white. Back out now with Eriksen, right-footed delivery back into the penalty area. And again, Tunisia defend it well, much to the delight of their supporters. Here is Christensen now, looking to make progress down the right-hand side. Claims he was having a shirt pulled, and the assistant agrees. And this is a Danish free kick down by the right corner flag. Another opportunity for Christian Eriksen to showcase his set-piece skills.
He's a real powerhouse, isn't he, Rasmus Christensen? I've been impressed with him at Leeds this season in the Premier League, and there he just won the ball back. He was aggressive and then got his shirt pulled by Abdi.
Skov Olsen is also stood over the ball, so one of 2 as far as Denmark are concerned to play it into the area. Again, the big men are forward from the back. Simon Kjær, who hasn't scored in more than a year, amongst the targets, so too Joachim Andersen. Eriksen, who puts his left arm up into the sky towards the far post. That was a teasing delivery, and it needed to be dealt with this time by Elias Skiri, who plays it behind for a corner.
It needed to be headed in, is what it needed. It was absolutely brilliant, so difficult to defend, and just no one really reading the flight of the ball.
First real spell of concerted Danish pressure. 22 minutes gone on TalkSport. 0-0 between Denmark and Tunisia, as Christian Eriksen again prepares to play in the corner from the left-hand side. The left arm goes up into the sky again. There are 5 red shirts waiting in the centre. It's hooked towards the far post, nodded down by Delaney, and collected now by Eriksen, and fizzed in towards the near post where Dolberg had made a good run, couldn't connect, and then Andersen with the shot from the edge of the area, left-footed straight into the arms of Dahmen.
Well, he just missed it, didn't he? Kasper Dolberg made a really clever, intelligent run to that near post, getting across his man. Eriksen does really well just to fake the right-footed cross, jink onto his left, and then whip that in nice and low, and he just missed it.
Route 1 here from Tunisia. The flag has stayed down. It's a huge opportunity, and it could be a huge moment. Jabali taps the ball beyond Schmeichel, but the flag goes up finally. He did look offside to the naked eye, and those Tunisian celebrations are cut short. VAR will be looking at it. I think he is just offside, Dean Ashton.
But how good was the line? How good was that Danish back line? Every single one of them did not make sure that they were in their own half. They were right on the halfway line, and Jabali, he needed to know that, and he just strayed into the opposition half and was offside.
Well, they've had the ball in the net, but it won't count, and it remains goalless. I've been impressed with Jabali. I think he's been a real outlet for Tunisia in the opening 24 minutes. He's occupied that 3-man Danish backline to really good effect. Listen to the noise inside Education City. Fervent Tunisian supporters, those Denmark fans that have made the trip, trying their best, but, well, if it was a singing contest, it would be a no contest, let's be honest. Late challenge by Christensen on Leyduni, who goes down inside his own half of the field. I think it's going to be a yellow card for Rasmus Christensen. You mentioned that he's combative, but too combative there, Dean Ashton.
Well, you'd think he has to have caught him because his boot went flying off, and he did. He just treads right on the back of his heel, so I don't really see why he can have any complaints.
And it's a free kick for Tunisia in their left-back position. Tunisia actually were the first African country to win a World Cup game when they beat Mexico by 3-1 back in 1978. That one of only 2 victories in 15 attempts. The other, as I mentioned already, in their last game in 2018 against Panama. Joachim Andersen with an under-hit clearance straight to the captain Masakni, and he needed Christensen to come sliding in and concede a throw level with the penalty area.
They're just rattled. That's all it is at the moment. Even though they're experienced, they're just finding it very, very difficult because of the energy. They've got to be patient. I think they've got to try and keep more possession to slow things down.
Ali Abdi with a long throw into the area, headed away by Thomas Delaney, chested down by Leidouni, and still plenty of white shirts in the centre if he can get his cross away. Fires it straight into the midriff of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and this is where Denmark need to break quickly. Tunisia are committing men's forward, and not only do they play it back to their own area, but Joachim Andersen with a wayward pass asked an awful lot of Andreas Christensen, and they were in danger there. Denmark are playing their way into trouble. They have just about got it away, but it's back now with Christensen again on the edge of the 18-yard box. An opportunity for Andersen on this right-hand side to come forward. Rasmus Christensen out to Skov Olsen down the right. Only Dolberg inside the Tunisian 18-yard box at this moment in time. Cheers again from the Tunisia supporters. We've played 26 minutes. It's 0-0 here in Doha. You're listening to Talk Sport. Wall-to-wall coverage of the 2022 World Cup goes on. Here's Delaney now. Real grafter alongside Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Delaney in the centre of midfield. Made his name at Borussia Dortmund, now at Sevilla in Spain. Actually has Irish great-grandparents, Delaney. Good ball into the penalty area, over the head of Skov Olsen. Again, maybe should have done better. Had a clean run at it. Couldn't make contact. Still Denmark come forward, but again, that man Leidouni makes the challenge and then punches the air like he's got an opponent in the boxing ring in front of him. He is certainly tapping into this energy from the Tunisian supporters.
Yeah, just a bit. Talbi, though, did brilliantly defensively because Skov Olsen just drifted in unmarked into the area when that cross came in.
Here's Rasmus Christensen, cross too close to Darman. He gets a huge roar from those Tunisian fans behind the goal as he collapses on top of the ball. It's been a bit more positive in the last couple of minutes for Denmark. We're watching a replay of the very narrow offside decision, but Dean Ashton was spot on as Jabali raced into the Danish half. All 4 red shirts were up inside the Tunisian half and playing him offside. That just shows the type of defensive organisation that Kasper Hjulmand has made his trademark. Known as the Danish Pep, retired as a player aged 26, became a bit of a national hero after leading Denmark into the semis of the last European Championships. And he was speaking this week about the influence the great Johan Cruyff has had on his coaching career as well. Very studious manager. What about this atmosphere, Dean Ashton? This is incredible.
What it must be like for the players, you know. That's why the energy's so good as well, isn't it? I mean, imagine that lifting you as a player every time you know, make a tackle, the roar that you hear every time you make a shot. It just, so far, it's why they've been so much on top of this game.
It feels like we're in tournament mode now, doesn't it? England putting 6 goals beyond Iran yesterday. Fans from all countries congregating on Souk Waqif last night. Saudi Arabian fans ahead of the game against Argentina were in boisterous mood. I can only imagine the scenes around the city now. And the fact that Tunisia have travelled to this World Cup in such great number and whipped up this kind of occasion, it just feels like the World Cup is really here. Here come Denmark. Delaney on the edge of the penalty area, can't find a teammate in red. It's played out to the left-hand side, and Ali Abdi. Joachim Andersen beaten to the loose ball by the skipper Masakni, leading by example. The Tunisian number 7, and his side have a throw in line with their own penalty area away to our right.
Brilliant as well, wasn't it, from Skiri in that midfield. He just spotted the danger as that deep-lying midfield player, plays for FC Cologne, and he's just one of those players that's just happy to sit in there, isn't he? Just to spot there. He's the type of player that just ruins football matches, doesn't he, for the opposition?
I sense they've got a few of those, Tunisia. They are battle-hardened, no question about that. Here is Dolberg, though, dropping deep into midfield, feels he was upended unfairly, and it's going to be a free kick for Denmark right in the centre of the Tunisian half of the field. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talk Sport. 15 minutes the first half to play here. Poland against Mexico, France, Australia still coming up. As Denmark take the free kick short. Delaney back to the halfway line. Here's Eriksson now. Hasn't really been able to make the type of shining impact that we've seen so often at Brentford and more recently at Manchester United since his incredible comeback. Simon Kjær going long, and Skov Olsen may just have timed his run there, and it needed to be defended as a result of that. Ali Abdi turning the ball behind for a corner, and I think he was onside, Skov Olsen.
Yeah, lovely movement. He started right on the touchline and then just drifted in, and then inside Ali Abdi, who didn't spot him, should have been alert to it, and he wasn't. It was a half decent touch, but Abdi just read where the ball was going to go.
That's the voice of the former England striker Dean Ashton, alongside me, Alex Crook, at the Education City Stadium. Christian Eriksen, to a chorus of boos, is about to take the latest corner, floated to the far post, headed down by Anderson, looking for Delaney on the edge of the 6-yard box, and again Tunisia clear it well. Flicked away in the end by Youssef Masakni. It will come right back at them though. Dolberg, good strong play this time, out to the right hand side. Eriksen with a cross in, and this time it's Maria who clears it away with a head. And maybe they could counter here with the adrenaline fueled Leidouni. Picks out his captain Masakni just on the edge of the centre circle, and Masakni has knocked the ball around Christensen, and they've managed to play it forward into the penalty area. The Tunisian fans are baying for a spot kick. In fairness, Ben Slimani, having gone down under the challenge, got straight back to his feet, and here come Denmark on the counter. Eriksen over on the left hand side. All of a sudden this game has become a little bit open. Skov Olsen into the box for Denmark, all in red. Skov Olsen gets the byline, tries to put the cross into the area. Sliding challenge from Montassar Talbi, and he's behind for a corner. It was Pierre Højbjerg with a challenge inside his own box on Ben Slimani. Do they have any kind of case, Tunisia, for a penalty?
No, not at all. He read it actually. It was poor from Slimani. He should have taken the shot on when it was there, because the work from Youssef Masakni was absolutely brilliant in midfield. Just played a little 1-2, then just flicked it round the corner of Mæhle, and then a great ball in behind for Slimani.
It's Christian Eriksen again with a corner. Denmark 5-1 up on that count, but 0-0 on the score. Towards the near post, Simon Kjær flicks it back out of the penalty area. Højbjerg, left-hand side with a right-footed shot, straight into the arms of Darman. And that's what they've been restricted to, Denmark, trying to test this relatively inexperienced goalkeeper from long range.
Yeah, it's a silly decision though from Højbjerg. He is trying to shoot rather than just you've all got all the centre-backs in there still. Just put that in and let them go and attack it. Don't try and hit some... I mean, he didn't even look as if he was trying to go for the top corner. It was more a low one. Easy for the goalkeeper. They've been poor actually so far, Denmark. You know, we're well over 30 minutes in now and they've not settled still.
I guess the positive for Kasper Hjulmand is that Tunisia haven't taken full advantage in terms of a goal. Højbjerg with a wayward cross into the area. It's kept alive over on the far side by Mæhle. He's a bit hungrier to it there than Mohamed Draga. And then Mæhle plays it back into midfield. And Delaney still goalless here. Earlier today on TalkSport 2, incredibly, Argentina, despite taking the early lead courtesy of a Lionel Messi penalty, were beaten 2-1 by Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history. Delaney out to the left-hand side. Opportunity for Mæhle to maybe put the ball into the area. Instead he comes back into midfield. The Booze will tell you that Denmark are keeping the ball well here. Simon Kjær, the skipper, just inside the centre circle, forward to Eriksson. And now on the right hand side is Joachim Andersen, who looks a bit shaky, the Crystal Palace defender, the most expensive player in Danish history. And that blonde hair flowing. That's a better ball though from Andersen towards the far post, but the goalkeeper Darman leaps well and makes sure that he gets there ahead of Mæhle, who made the run from left wing back. Safe pair of hands from Eamon Darman, who only made his debut, Dean Ashton, in March for the Tunisian national side. Yeah, what a day this must be for him. But that was better actually. Again, he's gone long upfield, and again Tunisia look like they've got an opportunity here to maybe create a goal-scoring chance. It wouldn't quite come through for Jabali, well defended by the Danes, and then Dolberg goes down on the halfway line and he wins a free kick. And a chance again for Denmark to try and play more of the game inside Tunisian territory. I'd like to see certainly one of the midfield players, whether it's Delaney or Højbjerg, is just they're very flat still at the moment. Just maybe one of them a little deeper and one of them actually go and try and support Dolberg. He's very, very isolated against three centre-backs, the Danish centre-forward. He needs a little bit of help. They're trying to pick their way through down the left-hand side. Mæhle looking to get to the byline, but that was just an excellent show of strength from Taubé to make sure that Mæhle couldn't get himself into a crossing position. And here comes Leidouni again in the sky blue footwear, just inside the Tunisian half. He was looking to release Masakni, but the pass was slightly too far in front of Masakni, the skipper, and Denmark have it back now with Joachim Andersen at the heart of defence. Do you not think it's a bit frantic? That's the problem, isn't it? You know, they've looked good, they've got on the ball, but everything is so frantic from their press to when they get the ball as well. Here's Dolberg holding the ball up on the edge of the area, finding Eriksson. Højbjerg out to the right hand side, and Rasmus Christensen. That's a neat turn from Dolberg, got himself away from Taubé, but look at that man, Leidouni, snapping away in midfield to win it back with a slide tackle again, but they can't keep it here, Tunisia. Højbjerg into Dolberg again, beginning to have more of an influence, Dolberg, and he's found Skov Olsen down the right. Skov Olsen has his pocket picked by Abdi, and Tunisia with Leidouni will try and bring the ball forward to the halfway line. When they have got the ball into the feet of Kasper Dolberg, he has looked like he can cause the Tunisian defence problems. But where are the runners? Where are the players that are just going to run off him and he can then maybe take that touch and play it round the corner? There just isn't that natural support, because Eriksson will go short and Skov Olsen is very wide. Here's Jabali looking to get the cross in from the right hand side. His path was blocked by Simon Kjær, but Tunisia have a corner, and this time it's the Tunisian supporters away to our left to whip up the atmosphere. Lots of movement on those vast concourses at this three-tiered Education City Stadium. Lights hanging on big metal poles from the cladded roof, and with so many Tunisian supporters inside the stadium, it was making for a very colourful setting. Corner to be taken on that right hand side by Anis Ben Slimani. Denmark base forward, and there are 7 white shirts to aim at in the centre. Again, the Mexican referee is just making sure that there's no shirt pulling going on. The ball whipped in towards the near post, and it's hammered wide by Leidouni. It was good play initially by Elias Skiri just to help the ball into a dangerous area, but Leidouni absolutely attacked it with all his worth and couldn't hit the target. He's having some game, isn't he, Leidouni? He's just a part of everything at the moment. He's so pumped up, and again, maybe too pumped up there. He's trying to absolutely rip that into the back of the net when it maybe needed a little bit of craft instead. Well, I mentioned those vast concourses. I think he probably found one of the refreshment kiosks with that shot, Leidouni. And for all their enterprise, I haven't really asked too many questions of Kasper Schmeichel, still Tunisia, and you sense that Denmark simply have to improve as the afternoon wears on. We played 40 minutes on TalkSport. It's 0-0 in our second commentary of the day. Don't forget tomorrow, the breakfast show with Laura Woods and White and Jordan, both coming live from our studio here in Qatar. Both of those programmes also available on TalkSport's YouTube channel. Not only can you listen to our dulcet tones, you can now watch us. Here comes Rasmus Christensen down the right hand side, but the ball runs behind and out for a goal kick.
I just think Tunisia will be delighted. Their energy's been fantastic, but the quality's been reasonably good up until the final third. I expected a lot more from Denmark. I know that they're energetic, these Tunisian players, but come on, this should be, the quality on the ball should be better from Denmark. They've been disappointing.
And I wonder if that conversation I was having with the Danish journalists at our hotel maybe is coming to fruition here. It's been very flat. Is Pierre Højbjerg though, looking to release Skov Olsen down the right. The Tunisian fans wanted a free kick for a foul inside the centre circle. They didn't get one, and Skov Olsen with a dangerous ball across the area. Just skips away from Højbjerg, who races to keep it in play on the left-hand side, and then he goes down inside the box. But again, the referee says no foul. Again, it was that man Leidouni back with a challenge. Højbjerg sits on the floor, both arms outstretched, asking for the referee to point to the spot.
This isn't a drill. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg just did the flip-flap skill past Leidouni on the touchline to get into the box and felt he was fouled. That was fantastic from the Tottenham man. Honestly, the skill was brilliant, and he's asking still. He's saying that needs to be looked at. Maybe not the challenge, just the skill.
Well, we have a Mexican referee and a Honduran in charge of the VAR, and Cesar Ramos did pick the ball up momentarily but has now put it back down again, so no penalty. Denmark had an injury problem while we were debating that. Thomas Delaney with the strong tackle inside the centre circle went down, but is now back on his feet, and the goalkeeper has made an error. Diamond with a risky short pass out from the back. Yassin Maria did quite well to deal with that in the end before Dolberg could take advantage.
Strange, wasn't it? I think second-guessed himself.
Here come Tunisia at the other end. It's played in again to Jabali. Looks to lift the ball over Schmeichel, who's made a stunning one-on-one save. Well, the Denmark players were all expecting the offside flag. It was not forthcoming, and that is a tremendous piece of play from the former Leicester City goalkeeper. Jabali maybe just onside. He looked to dink it over the giant green-shirted Schmeichel, and he stuck out that outstretched right arm, much like his dad used to do back in the day, and clawed the ball behind for a corner. That is comfortably Tunisia's best chance to take the lead.
Stunning save. Absolutely stunning that he could read that chip. Brilliant.
Third Tunisian corner. Ben Slimani looping one from the right hand side. Jabali's going to attack it, punched away by Schmeichel, and then volleyed over the bar, left footed by Skiri from the edge of the area. Chances suddenly starting to come for Tunisia.
No, it's a big chance. It's a huge opportunity. It really was for Jabali, because Masakni has gone to take the shot, and actually he's just hit it against Christensen's foot. It's gone right into the path of Jabali. I actually like the finish. He really disguised as if he was going to just side foot that in, and then just looked to lift it over Schmeichel, who, like you said, just read it, put that big right hand up over the top of him and just flicked it away. But ultimately at this level, those sorts of chances should not be given a chance to be saved.
Well, that could be a huge moment come the end of the 90 minutes. Kasper Schmeichel coming to his team's rescue. Here is Skiri wearing a mask to protect a facial injury. Looks quite an intimidating prospect in midfield. He plays it out to the left, and Ali Abdi, and then Jabali overzealous with a challenge on Anderson. It's a free kick, and Jabali, I think, is reacting to what he sees as some theatrics from Anderson, and that's turned the ire of the Tunisian fans on the Crystal Palace defender.
Yeah, I mean, he just shoved him in the back, Jabali, onto Joachim Anderson, and Anderson thought, well, I'll give you one of those back. All a bit silly, really, but what it's done is it's lifted this crowd, so A bit naive from Anderson.
This is what this tournament needed, isn't it, today? Games that maybe you thought would be mismatches, being ultra competitive, a shock scoreline in terms of Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia, because, let's be honest, as well as England played yesterday, Iran weren't great, nor were the host Qatar in the opening game of the tournament. But this is a proper contest, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the World Cup, what it does is it means certain teams and certain players can raise their game to a level that they just never normally would do, and it brings that unpredictability about football, what we love.
I mentioned that Delaney had an injury problem. It looks like Denmark are going to have to make an enforced change here right at the end of the first half. Delaney shaking his head. A disappointing end to his afternoon. And coming on in his place is the Brentford midfielder Mikael Damsgaard, who maybe Dean would have been disappointed not to start the game.
Yeah, I think just maybe not playing enough for Brentford has probably been his downfall. Obviously had an injury as well, but he'll come on. I think he'll probably go over onto the left hand side, and Eriksson will now drop alongside Højbjerg and play in that midfield area where Delaney was.
He has gone to sit on the bench, Delaney, so that suggests that maybe it's not an injury that will rule him out for any period of time. Of course, because of the congested nature of this World Cup, there's not a lot of rest and recovery time in between matches. Mikael Damsgaard compared to Michael Laudrup is on, and as Dean Ashton has said, that will see a slight change of shape. Both managers allowed to make 5 changes, plus any concussion subs that may be required. Eriksson flicking the ball forward, and Damsgaard trying to get involved straight away. Playing the pass in towards Dolberg, but again, well defended by Tunisia, who've kept 8 clean sheets in their last 9 games, Dean Ashton, and you can see why.
Yeah, I mean, not only is the energy great, their organisation's been very good. As soon as they lose the ball, they go straight into a back 5. The 2 midfield players then just sit in front. I think in a strange way, it might be a good thing that Eriksson's now a little bit deeper, because they haven't got that space to find him where he would like to normally get it, just slightly deeper than the centre-backs. Instead, actually, he's going to be able to get on the ball. He maybe start to be able to dictate the tempo and find those passes that we know he's capable of as he's on the ball now.
Well, he's played this role a lot for Manchester United, hasn't he, since arriving at Old Trafford, Christian Eriksen. So
and deep as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
As deep as Casemiro at times in terms of getting on the ball and dictating play.
And they need a bit of his wizardry here, Denmark, because it's been a bit of a slog this first half. We're into added on time. Skov Olsen down the right, again looking to run at Ali Abdi. I think he's had an excellent game, the left back, and a big roar goes out again as he slides in and clears the ball out for a throw.
Bullied him. He's absolutely bullied him physically. Skov Olsen doesn't look like he really wants it, and ultimately when you've got a good player up against you, you're not going to make it easy.
Didn't actually see the electronic ball go up in terms of how many minutes of additional time there will be. Just 4. That's quite conservative, isn't it, for this World Cup? We've played 2 of them already. It's 0-0. Denmark have a free kick. It was a foul on Højbjerg by that man Leiduni, and this is in a promising area, 4 yards outside the box, level with the right corner as we look high up in the top tier here at Education City Stadium. It will be cruel on Tunisia if they were to concede so late in a half when they've been the better side. Christian Eriksen and Andreas Skov Olsen again are the 2 Denmark players stood over the ball. Eriksen just wipes the sweat from his brow. Only 2 in the Tunisian wall. It's going to be crossed into the area. You would imagine Simon Kjær at the moment, the captain for Denmark, is in an offside position. He'll come back on when the ball is whipped in by Eriksen, right-footed, and it's headed behind for a Denmark corner right at the end of the first half. Montasar Taubi with the imported intervention.
I just wondered whether he fancied that, Christian Eriksen, just round the outside of the wall, maybe to the goalkeeper's near post. It was there to take on. Instead, he just clipped it in.
20 seconds of stoppage time at the end of the half to play. Eriksen with a looping one to the far post, looking for Joachim Andersen again. It's expertly defended by Mohamed Draga this time, the German-born right wing-back. He's actually a Nottingham Forest player, Draga, but has been on loan at Lausanne in Switzerland since joining Forest at the start of last season. Tunisian fans booing because they want the half-time whistle. The 4 added minutes indicated have been played. And there is the whistle to signal the end of a first half in which Denmark have found it really tough going against a pumped-up, very physical Tunisian team. Kasper Schmeichel saluting that pocket of Danish fans away to our left. Made one really excellent save, one-on-one from point-blank range to deny Issam Jabali the opener. That the closest either side came to scoring, but Denmark, European Championship semi-finalist Dean Ashton, a team predicted by many to go deep into this World Cup. They are going to need to up their level big time. Perfectly timed, Hugh, because Tunisia, all in white, have just got us back underway, and straight away they are on the attack, and a cross fired into the 6-yard box away to our right, headed behind by Joachim Andersen. It was a very purposeful surge down this near touchline from Mohamed Draga, and Dean Ashton, Tunisia, pumped up for the first half, really picking up where they left off at the start of the second.
Yeah, they were in a huddle within the tunnel area as Denmark's players walked past them. They were in a huddle and just winding each other up. That was a great run from Draga.
Ali Abdi with a corner, low towards the near post. They've tried that routine on a couple of occasions already. It was Youssef Masakni, the man they call the Mongoose, who arrived on the edge of the 6-yard box, tried to flick it goalwards and flicks it behind for a goal kick for Denmark. That's clearly a training ground routine.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know whether it is the flick or whether it's to let it go. I'm not too sure. It's not worked in a particularly clean matter, should I say, so far.
0-0 at half-time. Tunisia, much the better side in the opening 45 minutes. No changes from either Kasper Hjulmand, the Denmark coach, or his Tunisian counterpart, Jalal Kadri, during the interval. So Denmark with Schmeichel in goal. Looks like they're continuing that back three of Andersen, Kjær, the captain, and Christensen. Rasmus Christensen, the right wing back, Joachim Mæhle, the left. Christian Eriksen now alongside Højbjerg in the centre of midfield. That's because Thomas Delaney was forced off injured. Damsgaard and Skov Olsen in support of Dolberg up front. Tunisia have Darman in goal, Taubi, Maria, Dylan Brond in a back three. Draga, Ali Abdi, very impressive, the two wing backs. Leidouni, who's had a monstrous performance in midfield alongside Skiri, and then Ben Slimani and Masakni behind Jabali, denied by a quite outstanding one-on-one save from Kasper Schmeichel up front. Denmark all in red, with both the badge and the kit manufacturer Hummel's logos almost blacked out in protest against the human rights issues that have surrounded this World Cup in Qatar 2022. They are attacking the goal away to our left. Still plenty of noise being generated inside the Education City Stadium. Many of the Tunisian fans have got drums that they are using to raise the noise levels. Here is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg of Tottenham in midfield. France and Australia, the two other teams making up Group D, alongside Denmark and Tunisia. They're in action at 7 o'clock UK time tonight. Stuart Pearson, Ian Dancer will be calling that one for you. Still Poland and Mexico between now and then as well on this 4-game Tuesday. Already Argentina beaten at home, not home I should say, beaten by Saudi Arabia by 2-1 despite leading. I'm just reading at half-time, Dean Ashton, there were Argentinian journalists in tears after that defeat.
I mean,
will you be crying if England lose to USA on Friday?
I'm not sure I'll be crying, but it would be, and it wouldn't be as big a shock. I think that's the thing. They are one of the favourites, let's not forget. They are absolutely one of the favourites for this World Cup, Argentina. So to lose against Saudi Arabia is a massive shock for their supporters and journalists.
Seismic upset already today. Tunisia looking to repeat defeat here against the semi-finalists from the last European Championship. Here's Simon Kjær winning the ball high up the field, the captain. They just need something to get them going here, Denmark. It was interesting to see Kasper Schmeichel applauding those travelling Danish fans away to our left as the half-time whistle blew. I think they have been affected by this atmosphere.
Yeah, I think so, but look, he has got options. I think he'll give it a little bit of time, but he's got the likes of Brathwaite and Poulsen, Cornelius. He's got options, especially in an attacking sense, to change things up, Kasper Hjulmand. So I think they've got to be patient. It's not going to be easy to beat this Tunisian side, and it might take right towards the end of the game to get over the line, but they've got to be patient.
Andreas Cornelius, one of those options mentioned by Dean Ashton, the centre forward, famously referred to by Vincent Tan, saying he wanted a Bentley and he got a Skoda. Here is Damsgaard, the substitute, down the left-hand side, trying to bring it away from Skiri. Maybe an opportunity for Mæhle to get a shot away. Rolls it across the 18-yard box to Skov Olsen. Now Rasmus Christensen, the Leeds defender, down the right-hand side. Poor cross, but only half cleared. Back to Skov Olsen on the edge of the area, looking for Eriksson, and who else but Issa Leidouni nips in, and maybe they'll do better than that. Leidouni finding Jabali. He was trying to cut the cross back for Ben Slimani up into port, and he couldn't quite do it. That was an excellent breakaway involving both Jabali and Leidouni, the two outstanding Tunisian players for me, and it was an important piece of defending by Andreas Christensen, turning it behind for a corner.
He's been superhuman so far in this game. Leidouni won the ball 1-2, tried to get him behind, just ran out of steam.
They've gone for a short corner routine this time, and a shot thundered in again from well outside the area by Mohamed Draga. Not for the first time, it took a deflection. It's another corner, and more Tunisian pressure early in this second half, live from Doha on TalkSport.
They just weren't switched on to it. Mæhle just didn't get out quick enough as they played it across the box from that corner when they played it short, and Draga looking to strike.
Those Tunisian fans are positively bouncing behind the goal. In fact, there are two chaps who are stood facing the fans at the top of the air conditioning units, whipping up a really intimidating atmosphere again. Ali Abdi with a corner. Again, he was looking towards the near post. This time, Pierre Højbjerg turns it behind. They just look really uncomfortable, Denmark, with the entire surroundings and the way the game is being played. I guess the big question is, can Tunisia maintain this intensity level? Ali Abdi floats in the corner, headed down inside the 6-yard box, shot from the edge of the area from Skiri was blocked away, and then the follow-up effort from Dylan Brom takes a deflection. It's another corner, and I can barely hear myself think.
Imagine if they score. Imagine if they score. I mean, they're just going to have to dig in at the moment with Denmark. It's a difficult atmosphere.
This is simply sensational on TalkSport. Red and white shirted Tunisian supporters everywhere you look, standing behind that goal away to our right, waving their flags in the air, trying to suck the ball into the back of Kasper Schmeichel's net. Again, it's a disappointing corner. Didn't beat Christensen at the near post. We'll come back again though, down that left-hand side for Tunisia. Back they go into the centre circle, and Montes Taube. He's got to make changes, hasn't he, Kasper Hjulmand? Got to find a way to get Denmark on the front foot in this game.
Well, do you take away one of the centre-backs? Do you need three centre-backs? Maybe not. Maybe get an extra player in midfield alongside Eriksson and Højbjerg, because he has played a back four quite regularly as Kasper Hjulmand, so maybe make a change and get that extra body in midfield, because at the moment, you're right, they've not been able to cope with the intensity, and because they're being matched up, it is almost player for player who's working the hardest, and at the moment it's Tunisia.
Long punt upfield again, and just about runs through for Kasper Schmeichel on the edge of the penalty area. It was a despairing lunge towards his own goal by Joachim Andersen to try and stop the ball reaching Ben Slimani. He wasn't convinced it was going to run through to his goalkeeper. Schmeichel, in fairness, looked unflustered. And now Denmark go long upfield with that diagonal ball from Joachim Andersen, chested back by Taube to the goalkeeper Darman.
Yeah, I'd just be saying, I think Simon Kjær is trying to say to Joachim Andersen, look, forget about that crossfield pass at the moment. Let's just get it down. Let's keep possession. That's the main thing. Just make them work. If they're willing to be so intense in their work, make them do it. Tire them out. Keep the ball. Use your quality.
Feels like an away game for Denmark, doesn't it?
Oh, big time.
As it might for a lot of the European nations in this very unique World Cup. I wonder if we could get a surprise result. We certainly had one this morning. Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 2. There are going to be all kinds of ramifications, I'm sure, from that result. Here is Rasmus Christensen, though. Plays it into Damsgaard, looked offside, flag stays down, Mæhle with a shot, blocked, and then hammered in by Skov Olsen, and the flag does go up, and the Danish delight is cut short.
He looked offside, didn't he? He just looked like he'd gone a fraction early. He actually, Damsgaard, he made an earlier run for Skov Olsen, and then didn't get back onside for that clever pass from Eriksson into his path, and he was about 3 or 4 yards offside, so never in doubt.
I do wonder why the assistant referee let play go on for so long. It was a fairly clear decision, you'd have thought. Both teams have now had the ball in the net at that left-hand end. Both times the flag has gone up. Only once in 5 attempts have Tunisia avoided defeat in their opening game of a World Cup. That was a 2-2 draw against, of all people, Saudi Arabia back in 2006. They are avoiding defeat here and may be capable of something much more spectacular against one of the fancied sides coming into the tournament.
Just looking at Rasmus Christensen's position, obviously he's started as a right wing back. He's playing almost as a midfielder, so why have him there? Why not have an orthodox midfield player there that's more comfortable in that position if he's going to play that way anyway?
It's a puzzle that Kasper Hjulmand, who hasn't done much wrong since he got the job, is going to have to try and solve, because at the moment it seems a matter of time before Tunisia score. Long punt forward by Simon Kjær. Looking for Mæhle on this left-hand side, who has to sprint to keep the ball from going behind for a goal kick. He's still in possession, Mæhle. On this near touchline as we look. Back in field for Højbjerg. Now Mæhle again down the left. Clever piece of play. Damsgaard with a cross in towards the near post. Dolberg got a flick on it, and he flicks it away from goal. That was much better for Denmark. Much crisper, much quicker with the way they moved the ball.
Yeah, it was very good, wasn't it? Mæhle on this side, lovely combination with Damsgaard, who there wasn't a lot of pace on the ball for Dolberg. That was the problem. He was never really going to generate the power to beat the goalkeeper.
Cheers for Denmark as they pass the ball around amongst themselves. Højbjerg looking at a more direct route towards the area. Too much weight on the pass for Skov Olsen. He waves an apologetic arm in the air, Højbjerg, and the ball's safely now in the arms of Ayman Darman, the Tunisian goalkeeper. Tunisia have lost 4 of their last 5 World Cup matches. They surprised you, Dean, with their quality?
They have, in terms of through that midfield area, but that's what they've lacked in the final third is that bit of quality, because they've been the better team. It's just they haven't, when they have got into that final third, been able to create more opportunities, but also take that wonderful chance that Jabali had as well.
Just looking at a replay of the chance as well that Denmark created, I think Kasper Dolberg possibly Fully should have done better with a header. It was a delicious, inviting delivery. He just didn't make enough contact with the flick, and he ended up glancing it away from goal. In fact, I think Darman moved his arm away from the ball because he knew it wasn't on target. 0-0, you're listening to Talk Sport, our wall-to-wall coverage of the World Cup 2022. We played 14 minutes in the second half. Here's Andreas Christensen for Denmark. Back to Simon Kjær. Again, the boos roll around the stadium. Tunisia win it back. Another strong challenge from Elias Skiri in midfield. All of the Denmark players back inside their own half, trying to keep that defensive shape, trying to withstand the Tunisian pressure. Out on the right-hand side, Olays for the home supporters. I say home supporters, it pretty much is a home game, isn't it, for Tunisia, this. And They are loving every second of it. They're giving it away to Damsgaard, only momentarily. Scary up over the halfway line, 0-0. And then an overzealous challenge from Joachim Andersen, just barging the captain Masakni to the floor, and it's a free kick inside the central circle for Tunisia.
Time to make a change. Kasper Hjulman has to do something to turn this game, and he should recognise that by now.
Well, they have got subs warming up away to our left, Denmark. Tunisia have got their replacements being readied as well. Hannibal, teenager on loan from Manchester United at Birmingham with that distinctive mopped hair, is out there being put through his paces. He's one who gets pretty fired up and thunders into tackles as well. Here's Damsgaard, middle of the Tunisian half, floats the ball out to the right and Skov Olsen. Dolberg and Eriksson arriving in the centre. Rasmus Christensen up on the edge of the area. Neat footwork from him. Guides the ball back out to the right hand side. Skov Olsen with a teasing delivery, and it's headed behind by Yasin Maria for a Denmark corner.
Yeah, it just shows though, when they do get on the ball enough and look to create and move it quickly, Denmark, they're good players, and that was really nice. Rasmus Christensen, lovely bit of footwork to get it out to Skov Olsen, just jinked inside on that left foot and really whipped in a delicious, inviting cross that the defender had to just flick away and up and over the top. That's much better.
They haven't lost any of their, drawn any of their last 22 games, Denmark, since a 1-1 stalemate in a friendly with Germany, June 2021. Eriksson with the corner, headed away by a cluster of white shirts, and maybe Tunisia can counter here. That was a good bit of defending from Simon Kjær, just making sure that he blocked the pass forward and that the counter-attack was stopped at source. Well one back on the far side by Joachim Andersen. Denmark just maybe showing a bit more physicality in the last 5 or 6 minutes, trying to meet fire with fire, perhaps, Dean Ashton.
I mean, that should be the minimum. It shouldn't take a wall of supporters to make you do that as a player. And I just think, surely this Tunisian side has to tire at some stage.
Denmark 0, Tunisia 0. Dooney winning it well again in midfield, dispossessing Christensen. I mean, he has been absolutely sensational. Not a player that would have been on the lips of many as a potential star man, Asa Ladouni, before the game kicked off, but he has been the driving force for Tunisia right from that first tackle, 20 seconds into the game, when he put it behind for a corner and immediately almost thumped his chest in front of the Tunisian fans. That set the tone, didn't it?
You like that, didn't you?
I did.
I did, you're right. They absolutely did.
Tunisia have a throw right in front of their vast dugout area here at the Education City Stadium. There are a couple of Denmark subs being readied down below, not before time, I think, for Kasper Hjulman. Andreas Cornelius, the much maligned former Cardiff striker, is one of those who will be about to enter the fray. So too Matthias Jensen of Brentford, but not before Tunisia have taken a quick throw down the right hand side. They play back to the halfway line, and Taubé is given away in midfield to Højbjerg. And here they come with the counter-attack. Dolberg all alone, and he's been wiped out, but fairly, according to the referee, by Yasin Maria. Denmark crying out for a free kick. I think he had an awful lot of work to do there, Dolberg, against 2 Tunisian central defenders. Nobody in a red shirt within 20 yards of him.
I thought it was a foul though. I thought his footwork was excellent, just to take that away, and I thought he was body checked, but obviously not enough for Cesar Ramos.
Looks like it's going to be a treble Danish change. Jesper Lindstrøm, the attacking midfielder from Eintracht Frankfurt, is also stripped and ready. That probably tells you how the Danish coach is feeling about his team's performance at this point. We've played 64 minutes on TalkSport. It remains 0-0. Denmark haven't really looked like scoring. In a match they would probably, when the draw was made, have seen as An opportunity to get off to a winning start.
Well, I mean, you would expect this to be opposite. I mean, Tunisia have had 12 attempts and Denmark have had just 3.
Well, they're taking off their captain here. Simon Kjær is about to pass the armband to Christian Eriksen. That's a lovely moment for Eriksen after what happened in the Euros 18 months ago. Simon Kjær making way. So there's definitely going to be a formation change. It was Mathias Jensen who came on for him. We've seen the last of Skov Olsen as well. Lindström replacing him. And so too is Kasper Dolberg going off. So Cornelius will go and play up front, Lindström on the right. And they're going to go to a back 4 now, Dean Ashton, as you've been suggesting they should.
Yeah, well, a lot of the games recently for Denmark have played with a back 4. So, and Simon Kjær was the one, if they did play a back 4, I didn't expect to start. So, no surprise actually to see the captain leave the field and to change this formation. And Jensen obviously going into midfield just gives them that extra player in there. We'll see if it works.
Well, you would expect Denmark to have more squad depth than Tunisia. Hence the fact that they've made 4 subs already, one of them enforced. I think Jalal Kadri probably would struggle to think of a player that you can take off at this moment in time, because they've all been excellent, all been so energetic, and they've maintained it as well throughout the course of the 66 minutes. The match starting in very warm conditions, much cooler now as darkness has fallen here in Doha. 0-0 on TalkSport. Poland against Mexico, France, Australia still to come before the day is out. Here's Andersen out to the right hand side for Denmark. Christian Eriksen trying to make something happen for his team, but again Tunisia snapping away, win it back, and then it's chipped forward by Ali Abdi, another outstanding performer. These Tunisian fans have maintained their intensity as well, Dean Ashton. Certainly no let off from the terraces.
They're just going to find a way to try and create some more, haven't they? And if they can do that, if they could just get themselves ahead, you feel as if they'd be able to hold on with this support behind them.
Well, they're making a change in response to the Danish alterations. And it's Ben Slimani, to a big ovation from the Tunisian supporters. Makes way for Naïm Sliti, their experienced Marseille-born forward, 70 caps, 13 goals, and actually was the most used attacker over the course of Tunisia's qualifying campaign. So fresh legs up front. Here's Eriksen for Denmark though. Down the right they come, and another big challenge from Taubi this time, sliding in, firing the ball out of play over on the far right touchline. Here's Jensen for Denmark, inside the centre circle, out to the left-hand side, and Joachim Mæhle. They've done a good job, Tunisia, of stopping Mæhle getting to the dangerous positions that we saw not just at the European Championships but quite often in qualifying as well, when Denmark were almost perfect in their qualifying campaign. The only defeat was against Scotland in what was a dead rubber for them right at the end. Here come Tunisia at the other end in towards Jabali, and Schmeichel comes sliding out, gets there ahead of the Tunisian centre forward. It was good play by Masakni again to try and make the opening. Schmeichel alert, and that
can be the problem as a forward, especially someone who's playing up against 3 centre-backs for a lot of the game. Jabali then, when you've done all that work off the ball, have you then got the energy? Have you got the sharpness then to get in behind and get to that ball? And he looked laboured, Jabali, because it was a half-decent ball.
He's entitled to be tired, isn't he? Here's Eriksen, just outside the penalty area, left-footed shot, brilliant save! Wonderful save by Darman, flinging himself to the left-hand side and clawing the ball behind for a corner. Well, that would have been just about the most popular goal scorer at the entire World Cup. Christian Eriksen denied his fairy tale moment by an excellent piece of goalkeeping.
Yeah, it felt like the moment, didn't it? Christian Eriksen just outside the box. We know how good he can be and he strikes it brilliantly, actually just behind the defender. It's a difficult one to spot for Darman, and he equals his counterpart with a fantastic save up above his left hand side.
Eriksson with a corner in front of that pocket of Denmark fans over on the far right hand side of the ground. It's another floated delivery in towards Andreas Christensen, heads it goal as it's off the post. Denmark inches away from taking the lead. Eriksson puts it back into the area and it will be cleared away by Skiri. And the roar tells you that Tunisia look to counter-attack, but across comes Damsgaard and plays it back to Kasper Schmeichel.
Let's be honest, how has he missed that, Cornelius? It's a really deep corner right to the back post. Christensen gets up there and he just misses it. He just skims off his head. He must be thinking about whether he's going to headbutt the post. That can be the only thing that's put him off. But who cares, Cornelius? This is the World Cup. Put your head on it, score and take the whack.
And that was why he was the Skoda and not the Bentley at Cardiff. Tunisia meanwhile into the penalty area, and it's good defending by Rasmus Christensen. It was good play by Ali Abdi, well forward from left wing back, looked to cut it and get the shot away. The ball is behind for a corner, and the Tunisian fans are on their feet again. I think they've got louder in this second half.
They want a penalty, that's right. Ali Abdi closed down Joachim Andersen, it then flicked up, but it flicked up crucially off Joachim Andersen's right thigh and onto his arm. Therefore, there's no way it's handball.
It is a corner though. Another opportunity for Tunisia to test Kasper Schmeichel. Over on the right hand side, it's going to be a right-footed in-swinger, I think. Referee just calming things down inside the penalty area. Naeem Sliti, the substitute, stands over the corner, whips it into a really dangerous area, and it was the captain Masakni closest to getting on the end of it. And again, I think he feels like he should have made a clean connection with the header. It's behind for a goal kick.
What he did was he ended up thinking too much about the contact of the player rather than catching the flight of the ball, Masakni, and in the end it just floated over the top of his head. But this game has certainly had its moments.
It's a big moment for him, the man wearing the armband for Tunisia, Youssef Masakni, this afternoon. He missed the 2018 World Cup with a knee injury. There was some suggestion that he might miss this one as well, but he's here. He's a home-based player, spent the last 10 years playing in Qatar. Has a knack of coming up with big goals. There will be none bigger than if he can find the winner in the last 18 minutes. And we are in the territory, Dean Ashton, where one goal probably will settle it. As we again watch the replay, it was Christensen with a leap at the far post, headed it into an area really. And Cornelius did get the faintest of touches to turn it onto the post, when really if he'd gone full-blooded, Denmark would be in front. We're seeing a very tired run from Jabali there down the right-hand side. Højbjerg able just to usher the ball behind. I think he'll be off soon, Jabali. I think his race is probably run.
Well, you have to wonder, whether Khazri is fit or not, because you really expect at this point with Jabali, clearly.
I think he is out there warming up, Wabi Khazri. Way to the right. Surely they're going to give him the final 15 minutes. The main goal threat not able to start for Tunisia this afternoon, but they've still produced a tremendous performance in towards Jabali inside the box, but Joachim Andersen just ran across the forward and made sure that Kasper Schmeichel could slide and collect the ball. We've just got a shot on our monitors here inside the stadium. A very frustrated looking Kasper Hjulmand. He'll have expected more from Denmark this afternoon. I think we all did.
Yeah, it's been disappointing, hasn't it? They can be like this sometimes. I think when we've seen them play so well against tough opposition, it's because they're well organised and they can play their way out and frustrate, but they do lack that real cutting edge. Even against England in the Euros, it was evident they can sometimes struggle against opposition that just sit there and frustrate them because of that lack of quality.
They still beat France twice in the most recent running of the Nations League, Denmark. That's why so many people were talking about them as a team to watch out for. Sometimes teams can start slowly in the World Cup and grow as the tournament progresses. Kasper Schmeichel with a clumsy clearance straight out of play. Tunisian throw in, and it's given away by the substitute Sliti. Here's Damsgaard now, and blocking the route into the Tunisian half was Elias Skiri. No surprise that he's still full of energy. He ran 8 kilometres more than any other player in the Bundesliga in the 2020-21 season. He does look like an uncompromising customer with that black face guard, doesn't he? Here's Mæhle down the left-hand side for Denmark, crossing into the area. Cornelius does well, puts it back into the 6-yard box, but well defended this time by Taubé. And Tunisia should be able to play the ball up to the halfway line. They do better than that. Jabali trying to switch the play out to Leidouni. It was a tired pass again.
Yeah, he needs to come off. He looks so tired. He's put so much into this game.
It has been a really intriguing contest, and the backdrop, the noise of the Tunisian supporters really has made the occasion as well. Are we going to get a late winner? Here is Jensen on the edge of the Tunisian penalty area, cleared as far as Mæhle. Can he get a cross in? Finds Jensen still inside the box. Right-footed shot, low through a crowded area, and it's behind for a goal kick. That was a pretty tame effort from the Brentford midfielder Matthias Jensen.
Yeah, it was a poor decision in the end as well. I think at the top level, the best players, they certainly make the right decision more often than not.
And that big roar you can hear is because Hannibal has just been called back to the bench. Looks like a second Tunisian change is in the offing. He is going to relish this occasion. There's a wayward pass out from the back by Darman. Denmark don't really make the most of it, but they have it back now with Højbjerg on the edge of the centre circle. Finds Eriksson with space again. Christian Eriksen switches the play out to his right-hand side. It's given away tamely by Lindström. I wonder if he could have just galloped forward there, Christian Eriksen, and maybe got another shot away from distance.
Like a bit of pace, don't they, Denmark, in that top end of the pitch. Skov Olsen was reasonably quick, but they really lack that player that's going to frighten defences with his pace, or go and dribble at someone and take them on.
And the official attendance has just been announced on the PA system as 42,925. That is at least below the capacity of 45,300. That hasn't always been the case in this tournament so far. On a couple of occasions they've given out attendances larger than the actual capacity. I mean, there aren't many empty seats, Dean Ashton, in fairness. The Tunisian fans have made sure of that.
Yeah, I mean, the support is absolutely incredible and have made for this occasion.
Here's Eriksson, plays the ball back into midfield. Højbjerg can't bring it under control, and Tunisia may counter now. Jabali plays it out to the right-hand side, and Matthias Jensen has brought down Sliti, and he has got a yellow card for his trouble. That was quite a cynical challenge as Tunisia were looking to break away.
Yeah, he's not the quickest, is he, Jensen? And wasn't difficult for Sliti just to jink past him and draw the foul. Poise, look, we're coming towards the last 10 or so minutes of the game.
Ball chip forward for Jabali. Jabali brings it down neatly inside the penalty area. He's trying to link up with Masakni, and he played it behind his captain, and now Denmark break away, and Cornelius is bundled over by Skiri, and it's a free kick just on the edge of the centre circle inside the Danish half. 11 minutes plus stoppage time to go. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Denmark 0, Tunisia 0. As Hannibal is poised inside the technical area, ready to come on, the 19-year-old. About to earn only his 18th cap. He did play for France at under 16 level. Manchester United fans will remember him coming on against Liverpool and putting in one or two crude challenges that didn't go down well with the interim manager Ralf Rangnick at the time. The ball is ushered behind by the Tunisian defender Dylan Bron for a goal kick. 2 changes for Tunisia. Not just Hannibal entering the fray, but not Wabi Kadri at this stage either. Tahar Yassin Kenissi, forward playing in Q8, is the other player who is about to make his entrance on this 2022 World Cup.
Well, that's a surprise.
Captain Masakni is going on.
Yeah, I think he's been excellent, unless he is just run himself into the ground. But I think still want a player like him on the pitch. He's been certainly technically the best player for Tunisia.
Less of a surprise is that the jaded Issam Jabali is going off. He'll get a brilliant ovation because he's played so well, but he has really struggled in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Just to run.
Get that man an ice bath. Get it ready. He has put in one hell of a shift as Jabali. Real strong centre forward, lone centre forward performance from him.
We've not had a 0-0 yet. We looked like we might get one yesterday in the game involving Senegal and the Netherlands before 2 late Dutch goals. It's not been a dull 0-0, has it?
No, not at all. I mean, the atmosphere's been great. We've had chances in the game for both sides. I mean, everyone probably thought Denmark would end up winning this game comfortably, and again it just shows at this level what it means to some of the opposition, and you can't take anything for granted.
It's Denmark who have the ball. Mikkel Damsgaard just inside the Tunisian half, plays it back into the centre circle, and Joachim Andersen runs over halfway. Now jeers again from the Tunisian supporters. Denmark have won 4 of their previous 5 opening World Cup matches, all 3 of those actually by goal to nil, all 4 by the odd goal. And we said a while ago 1 goal would settle it here. Certainly as we move into the last 9 minutes that seems to be the case. A reminder, Mexico against Poland is our next live World Cup 2022 commentary. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff UK time, and at 7 o'clock we have the world champions France against Australia. No Benzema, but still plenty of talent in that French squad, not least Kylian Mbappe. I said this morning, this is the day the stars come out to play. Messi got his goal, but Argentina beaten by Saudi Arabia. Ericsson has not been able to make the impact that he would have wanted, denied by an excellent save by Darman. How will Lewandowski get on against Mexico, and can Mbappe bring this World Cup to light? We will find out the answers to those questions as part of our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage here on TalkSport. Remember, there are various podcasts that you can download as well every day. The Game Day podcast will look back on the day's action and preview what's to come in the day ahead. Now H&J are producing a daily podcast as well. And we have the TalkSport Daily Roundup available too, so no shortage of podcasts to listen to in between listening to all the matches. Dean Ashton made a cameo appearance on the Game Day podcast this morning, had plenty to say. I think you predicted a Denmark win. Here's Schmeichel, long ball upfield, headed back towards the Denmark half, and well brought down actually.
You're going to say you're going to say you went for a Tunisian win, are you?
Well, it's too late for people to go back and listen to that part of the pod, so yeah, why not? Here's Mailer down the left-hand side, great take, and he looks to go around Hannibal. He goes down, but I think the ball was already out of play. It was a risky challenge though from Hannibal, wasn't it?
It was, and Mailer's trying to say I kept it in. They managed to look at those things very, very quickly though.
Not too many lengthy VAR checks today. It was a wonderful piece of skill to pluck the ball from the sky. He was in behind Hannibal. Mailer, he hasn't got in behind the Tunisian defence too often. And I think he was already off the pitch as the tackle came in. And it's a goal kick for Tunisia. Tunisia have made a habit of punching above their weight. They're doing it again here. They will probably come off feeling that They're the team that should have won the game, although that was a magnificent save from Darman to deny Ericsson the Hollywood moment. Here they come down the right, Tunisia again, looking for Hannibal, but ball overcooked and behind. He's still just barged into Andreas Christensen there, Hannibal, as the ball went out of play. He's not one who hides away from confrontation, the teenager.
No, I'm sure Talk Sports, Ian Danter will tell you, he has been brilliant for Birmingham. He's been part of a really, really exciting looking midfield with Chong and Bielik in there. Pretty sure that he'll play a decent part for Tunisia in this World Cup.
Well, you heard the eruption as he was summoned back from warming up. Clearly very popular with these raucous Tunisian supporters. Matthias Jensen plays the ball into midfield for Denmark. Højbjerg out to the right, and Rasmus Christensen. 0-0 it remains. We've got 5 minutes of the 90 remaining here on Talk Sport. Jensen again out to the left hand side of Mæhle. And that was a risky touch by Andreas Christensen. He was almost dispossessed by Knissi. In fact, Knissi has gone barging into Matthias Jensen. He's going to get a yellow card.
I mean, he probably felt as if he could go for the ball. He was chasing down Christensen and he was desperately trying to just get to that, but then he just leaves himself in and sort of rattles into Jensen's side of his leg and sends him spinning. So all the energy, all the endeavour, they've just lacked that little bit of quality. Otherwise I think they'd have won this convincingly, actually.
But the fact it's taken until the 86th minute for a Tunisian player to pick up a yellow card shows that they've actually...
It's been controlled aggression,
exactly.
Hasn't it?
They've not just been flying in recklessly into tackles. Here's Andreas Christensen inside the centre circle. Boos as Knissi's face appears on the giant TV screens inside the stadium with that big FIFA yellow card above his head. Tucking down the left is Al Abdi, still full of running. Skipped away from one challenge and then plays the ball into midfield, and the excellent Leidouni. Hannibal lays it back to the halfway line, and Yassin Maria. And Maria floats it forward. He was trying to go over the head of Christensen, who didn't really win it. Ali Abdi, well, the opportunity to come forward down the left again. Running at Christensen, crossing towards the far post. Andreas Christensen with a header clear. And then it's given away to Damsgaard. Here is the big bulky figure of Andreas Cornelius, and he's been clipped from behind, and I think that would be a yellow card, really, under most circumstances for Draga. The referee this time keeps his card in his pocket, and I can see 2 more Tunisian players now will be coming on. Raji Keshrida is the first of those, replacing Draga, the right wing back. Keshrida, who plays in Greece with Atromitis. And also coming on is Fajani Sassi. And much to his disappointment, it is Issa Leidouni who is being called over. He has been sensational in midfield.
He has. And let's not just think that he has just been pumped up and been flying into tackles and winning the ball, and he's actually been really good on the ball as well. He's been calm then when he's got it, and he made that marauding run in behind. He just didn't have the pace to eventually finish it off.
Kazri's clearly not fit, is he?
No, there's obviously something there. I mean, he plays a lot, doesn't he, for Tunisia normally.
Jensen with the throw to Denmark. First touch since coming off the bench for Sassi is to volley the ball clear up towards the halfway line. Andreas Christensen, who will benefit from getting 90 minutes under his belt, having not played much at club level this season, plays the ball back to Kasper Schmeichel. We've got 90 seconds of normal time to play on TalkSport. It's still 0-0. Christian Eriksen, who's come as close as anyone in this second half to breaking the deadlock with that rasping long-range shot, brilliantly saved by Darman, is in possession, but deep inside the Danish half. You're pretty much going to hear a pin drop if Denmark score late on. Nobody is leaving this game early. And Tunisia are on the attack here. Sassi plays the ball out to the left-hand side. Ali Abdi brought down on the edge of the box, wants a free kick for the challenge from Rasmus Christensen. Nothing doing, says Cesar Ramos, the Mexican referee, and then Denmark have played the ball out for a throw.
Denmark have got nothing, have they? They have got nothing. There's no... It's not as if Denmark look as if, right, we're going to be putting this team under pressure now for the last knockings of the game. They actually look like we're going to hold. We're going to just take the draw now and get out of here and move on.
It makes it a difficult pathway now to the knockout stages. They play France at Stadium 974 in their next game, and then Australia in Al Wakra. If they don't get a positive result against France, they probably have to win that last game against Australia to stand any chance of progression. They have a throw here though. We're about to see how many added minutes there will be. Quite a bit has been the story of the World Cup so far, as Mela is dispossessed by Keshrida. It's a corner, only 5 minutes. Is that just about the fewest so far?
You'd have to think so, just by at least half.
Some nervous looking Tunisian supporters have just appeared on our television monitor, high up in the press gantry here at Education City Stadium. Corner to be whipped in by Christian Eriksen for Denmark. Left hand side, right footed delivery, and well dealt with by that Tunisian back line. They have been a really tough nut for Denmark to crack this afternoon. And we've played pretty much one of the 5 added minutes already. Denmark have never lost to an African opponent at a World Cup in 4 previous meetings. They aren't losing this run, but I think it will be a disappointing result for Kassa Hjulmand. Mathias Jensen limbers up to play a long throw into the area. We're now or never territory for Denmark. Jensen with the throw towards the 6-yard box, flicked on and plucked from the air by Darman. It was Cornelius at the near post, but it was comfortable for the Tunisian goalkeeper once again.
That's all they've really been looking dangerous with, is those set plays, Denmark, and it is a key feature of their success.
Tunisia have given it away. Here's Cornelius on the edge of the area. Just didn't have the composure to bring it under control. Here's Joachim Mæhle though. Ball into the box, and the goalkeeper has gone diving almost on the far line of the penalty area to try and save the corner. He couldn't, and Denmark will have another set-piece opportunity. They're into double figures in terms of corners now. And again it's Christian Eriksen. That one moment of quality could yet yield a precious opening game win for the Danes. Certainly they've got plenty of aerial targets now. In towards Cornelius. He's screaming for handball. He's not the only Denmark player as Tunisia hammer the ball clear upfield. Looked half-hearted though, the appeal, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's come through a crowd of bodies. There's absolutely no way that it would be any intent whatsoever.
There's intent here from Denmark. Finally on the goalkeeper, spilt the cross. Cornelius can't turn in the rebound. It's panic stationed inside the Tunisian defence. It's out for a corner. It was just a hopeful ball in from Jesper Lindstrøm. The goalkeeper didn't deal with. Wouldn't quite fall at the feet of Andreas Cornelius, but it is another Danish corner. 3 minutes into added time at the end of the game, but I can tell you there is a penalty check here for a possible foul. The referee has just signalled that he is awaiting instructions from the VAR room, and he is coming over to the monitor, and that usually means trouble for the defending team, and Denmark in the 4th minute of added on time may well be awarded a penalty and the opportunity to win the game. We're watching a replay, Dean Ashton. What have you spotted?
Well, I mean, is it for the handball or is it for
it said foul originally. It's now changed to handball on our monitor.
The first image we've seen is Jensen's barging into the back of a defender, so I'm not quite sure.
The referee has made the television symbol and he says no penalty. Much to the delight of the Tunisian supporters. Christian Eriksen, by the way, had walked from the corner flag with the ball in his hand towards the 18-yard box. He was expecting a spot kick. In fact, it's now a goal kick.
It's a free kick because of what I just seen. Jensen actually was the one with the foul. Barged into the back of the defender. It then went through a cluster of bodies and hit the defender's hand, which it wasn't because it bounced off his hip first.
It was Yassine Maria was the defender that they were checking for.
That was all a bit of a nonsense, to be honest.
Well, it looked like it would be Christian Eriksen's big moment at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It isn't, and we've only got 30 seconds plus probably another couple of minutes now added on at the end of added on time. 0-0, Denmark against Tunisia, live from Qatar. Long ball upfield from Darman, the Tunisian goalkeeper. That cheer was as loud as if a goal had been scored from these Tunisian supporters. Here's Christian Eriksen on the halfway line. What a moment it would have been for the Manchester United midfielder had that penalty have been given. Here comes Mæhle down the left. This one last chance for Denmark. Damsgaard, floated ball into the area, brilliant header away by Dylan Bronn. Superb defensive play again. Oh, the pass out to the left-hand side from Sassi, just too far in front of Ali Abdi. Otherwise, they would have been in down the left-hand side.
Oh, they've put in some effort, haven't they, Tunisia? What an effort they've put in this game. The amount of closing down and work they've put in, they definitely deserve something from the game.
Well, these Tunisian fans want full time. Wolf whistles all around Education City. Mæhle, though, with one last chance to cross into the area, one last excellent piece of defending by Kesh Reader, the substitute, but it will be a corner in the 52nd minute by the time this is taken. It would be cruel, Dean Ashton, on Tunisia if they were to concede here. It will be oh so cruel. Eriksen has crossed his wrist as he takes this corner. That's a message to the players in red in the centre. Cornelius with a header forward, but it was a weak one, no real conviction, and it's grabbed from the air by Darman, and that might just be Denmark's last chance to win it. Seconds away from the first goalless draw of this 2022 World Cup. It will be a point roared to the rafters by the Tunisian supporters as the offside flag goes up against Kinisi. Well, we're about to move into the 8th minute of stoppage time.
He's just enjoying it too much, isn't he? Cesar Ramos. He wants to see a winner.
Wait for the roar when the full-time whistle blows. Schmeichel with one desperate punt forward for the Danes. But the free kick is given. Surely now that has to be that. Free kick for a foul against Cornelius. What a shift these Tunisian players have put in. What a shift these Tunisian supporters have put in. What an occasion for the first game in Group D. They've committed lots of bodies forward here, Tunisia. Suggest they might fancy one last chance. But the full-time whistle blows. A huge roar from the Tunisian supporters. For only the second time in their World Cup history, they've avoided defeat in their opening group game, and they could have had so much more. Kasper Schmeichel with a simply stunning save to deny Jabali one-on-one in the first half. That by no means the only opportunity that Tunisia created. In the second half, Denmark continued to toil against the Tunisians, but there was still one brilliant piece of goalkeeping from Eamon Darman to keep out Christian Eriksen's rasping long-range shot. Eriksen believed that Denmark would be awarded a penalty in stoppage time. That would have been simply unfair on Tunisia, and it ends in the Education City Stadium. Denmark 0, Tunisia 0.